Welcome to another post-apocalyptic zombie game. Today we're talking about Days Gone. In a shocking turn of events, unlike every other zombie-related media, scientists create a virus which quickly gets out of hand and leaves a plucky band of survivors to make their way in the new normal, while refusing to actually say the word zombie. However, this game takes a completely unoriginal situation and makes a pretty good game out of it. You play as Deacon St. John, a badass biker with an equally badass name, who spends most of the game talking to himself like a crazy person at full volume, despite the game telling you to be quiet to avoid attracting the zombies. Sorry, freakers. And a badass biker needs only one thing, a badass bike. Unfortunately, the one that you get falls apart a lot and runs out of petrol every kilometre or so, which I suppose adds to the realism of post-societal transport. Though I still prefer that to the public transport in Leeds. If you've ever wanted to see what it would be like to find petrol in the woods while crying about your dead wife, then this is the game for you. When the game came out, it received kind of middling reviews. People said it was generic, slow, buggy, etc., which are all fair points, honestly. It feels like the developer couldn't decide what open world elements to put in, so they put them all in. There's crafting, a skill tree, random events, camps to upgrade. Instead of the typical Far Cry tower to climb up for map markers, they made it a bunker, so I guess that's different at least. It's basically a Frankenstein's monster of loads of different AAA open world games from the 2010s. But after 8 or so hours, something really weird happens. The game gets good. Not Game of the Year good, but more of this shouldn't work, but it does good. It's like the game tests you for 8 hours and then says, okay, now it's time to dust off the good stuff. So yeah, Days Gone is a deeply flawed, strangely ambitious, occasionally gripping freaker motorbike melodrama, and I think I really liked it. So Ollie, have you played Days Gone?
One of these days you're going to ask me this question and I'm going to respond with yes, but it is not this day.
But no, I have to be honest, I played this in 2023, which is obviously after they'd patched everything out that people complained about. So if anyone thinks this review is too positive because of that, it's only because I played a good version of the game, essentially.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I think this game was poorly marketed. I'm not sure what level the developer was at when the game was released, but I'd literally never heard of this game until my ex-girlfriend were playing it about 2 years after it released. Maybe even 3. I think it came out too late is the issue. This game came out in 2019, so it missed the zombie boom that came from like The Walking Dead, COD Zombies, World War Z, all that kind of stuff. And it also missed that open world game boom that came from like Horizon and Breath of the Wild, where open world games came really back into the foray. If Days Gone had came out in 2016, 2017, I think it would have done much better just because of that. The story's not bad. One day, a freak scientific accident releases zombies, freakers, a la Walking Dead, a la 28 Days Later, etc. And where you are in Oregon, which is a state in America, for those unaware.
Thank you.
He's getting evacuated. So you get to a helicopter with your wife and your best bud Boozer, who is by far the best character in the game. And there's only 2 spaces left, so you decide to put your old lady on the helicopter and we'll meet you there on his bikes, me and Boozer. And by the time you get to the refugee camp that they've all gone to, obviously it's been overrun, all dead, by the zombies, freakers. And you can safely assume that obviously your wife's dead. Then the story starts proper then. You get into it. You and Boozer are drifters who do odd jobs for like the local camps around the region. One of the jobs that you do goes wrong and Boozer gets all like burnt up, like pretty with a blowtorch, so pretty badly, and which leads to you going to find medical supplies. While you're finding the medical supplies, you discover that more about the scientists that created the virus. You see that there's some of these scientists still around investigating shit. And that your wife might not be dead. You sort of find some clues. And this leads you on a merry chase all around Oregon, which is a state in the United States.
Thank you.
You meet kind of new side characters all the way, who are all the side characters are really cool. I liked pretty much all of them. They're all kind of asshole-ish, but it kind of works in the story, and you discover more about the things that killed the world and how best to beat them off. Not like that. And that's the game, really. You ride your bike all over the state of Oregon, finding stuff and fighting freakers, and various bandits and things like that, and you're helping people. I think the story starts really slowly, really slowly, and the last section, so the first third and the last third, the first third starts off slowly, the last third is just too off the rails, it just goes a bit mental, and then the middle bit's really good. Basically, it's the whole time you spend at this place called Iron Mike's camp. That bit is the best bit of the story, and then the other 2/3 are a bit weird.
Did you say Iron Mike?
Iron Mike is
Iron Mike Tyson?
It's not Iron Mike Tyson, but it's an old white guy.
Okay.
Imagine if it were Mike Tyson. But the Mike Tyson, not a character. The game looks really pretty. It's got a bunch of like different biomes, I suppose you call them. There's like a forest, which is the starting area. There's a more sandy kind of deserty area. There's a snowy mountain area. And they all look very nice. The character models look really good. Really good. If you look at the actors versus the character models, a lot of them are near enough identical. So much so that when I played another game called Callisto Protocol, which has the main character of Days Gone in a baddie role, all I could see was, why is Deacon attacking me? So yeah, they look really good. The zombies, freakers, look class as well. They look so scary up close, and they scream at you and they're horrible, and they are quite scary. The gameplay is fine. There's absolutely nothing unique about the gameplay, but that's not a bad thing. I think if you played Red Dead 2, Horizon, games like that, you'll have an idea of how this plays in terms of like running around shooting and stuff. The unique thing about this game is the motorbike. So sort of in a similar way to Red Dead 2, where you ride around on the horse, I think this game had a really unique feeling to riding the bike around. So like in Red Dead 2, where I literally never used the fast travel system in Red Dead 2, not once. And I didn't in Days Gone either, because I had a lot of fun just riding to every place. Even if it were like a place that I'd been 100 times, I'd still ride there, because a lot of the fun is just riding your bike through these areas. The bike feels really good. It feels really weighty and cool. And it breaks a lot, as in gets damaged, not stops.
Is it like, so for me, I've obviously never played this. With Red Dead 2, I also never use fast travel, and it's because the world is so unique and there's so much happening all the time, even when you're not, in areas where you're not. So like for me, it wasn't just a case of, the world is so beautiful, so I want to see that. No, it wasn't that. It was that if I used fast travel, I thought I genuinely might miss out on something that I could have found along the way.
It's not as much, there's not as many like random events and stuff like that happen. There are some, but not in the same way as Red Dead, where like, you can see a random event can happen and that can send you on an absolute tangent. There's not like that. It's more the atmosphere in this game. It felt really nice to just ride your bike from place to place, and the world around you. Even so, that there's not much life in it. There's a lot of the enemies, and there's not much life. But it's the atmosphere of driving and it just being this kind of almost therapeutic kind of thing where you drive and you take in your surroundings. And it were more that rather than that I felt like I'd miss out on something if I drove. But the bike falls apart a lot and it runs out of petrol very quickly. You can upgrade it to get better in those areas, but I felt the bike was a bit too feeble, especially for how heavy and strong it felt. Far and away, the best thing about this game is the hordes of freakers. As you're traveling around, you might, before you learn about them in the story, but before you do that, you might accidentally just run into, if you're just walking around, you might turn a corner, 300 of them there just in front of you. They see you, they scream at you, they start to chase you. It is scary as shit. It's so frightening. It feels like you're in trouble when you've got all these freakers converging on you, and it's proper scary. And yeah, like I said, eventually they feature into the story and you learn how to take them on. But even then, the odds are completely stacked against you. When you're fighting them, you have to have you have to be concentrating all the time, because one wrong move, you're dead. Just as simple as that. If you get surrounded by them, that's it. It's game over. You cannot escape. So you've got to plan ahead. You've got to sort of scout out where the horde is, then scout the environment to see what can I use in this environment to my advantage. If I run down this funnel, can I jump over here? Is there any gas canisters that I can blow up and take a load out? Stuff like that. And you have to use a lot of your items as well, which I think is good, because in most games I never use any items because I'm lazy, uninterested. But in this game, you've got to, otherwise you just won't beat that. There's no way you would have enough bullets to beat any of the hordes with just your guns, I don't think. I think it's a massive shame that taking these things on comes so late in the game. It's like towards the end of the middle third, maybe even past that. And if it were earlier, yeah, it is past that because you go and come back, yeah? So it's in the last third of the game. And I think if it were earlier, I think, a lot of people who maybe quit the game early might have stayed on it. And that's Days Gone. So unless you've got, then give it to me, baby.
Yeah, where's Oregon?
I think it's northwest.
Okay.
I think it's near Washington, which is in the top corner as far as I know.
Okay.
I think Oregon is either to the right of it or maybe just below it. I think. I'm not massive on my American state knowledge, but I think Oregon is top left of the country if you're looking at a map.
We should get your brother on. No, so other side from that, how would you recommend the game if people were platinum hunting?
So, I won't recommend this if you're only doing platinums to just get the numbers up, because it won't be an efficient use of your time. It took me like 50, 60 hours to get the platinum. If you're just getting it for, right, I want this number to go up, and you're not really interested in games, it's just not, it's not an efficient use of your time. But if you're playing the game and you're enjoying it, then I will recommend everyone to get the platinum, because by the time you finish the game, you're probably about 80% of your way to the platinum anyway. There's only like a last few missions, collectibles kind of stuff that you need to do. So you're just kind of doing mop up then, which, if you're enjoying the game, the mop up is also fun because you're riding around doing the same sort of shit anyway.
Can I just ask, just before you go on, if there's anyone watching who is that kind of person who does just platinum, it's not even about the game, it's not even about playing the game, it's about getting platinum trophies on PlayStation Network, let us know, because I have follow-up questions for you. So write something, say, I'm one of those guys.
The reason I started getting platinum trophies is because of a person like that.
Yeah, so if you're one of those and you're like, for me it's just pure numbers, I
checked, she got one more trophy, right?
Oh dear.
Do you know what it was for?
What?
Bluey.
Oh, sick.
How am I to compete with that?
Bluey's on my wish list.
So I'm sat there trying to get platinum trophy in Resident Evil 1, which is rock hard. And she's doing Bluey and getting platinum.
Well, this is why I have follow-up questions. This is why I want to talk to these kind of people, because I just want to ask some questions about, more about why you're doing what you're doing. But anyway, so leave a comment if you're that kind of person, but please carry on, Carl.
Right, would I recommend this just to play? Yes I would. It's a game that got a bad rap, but I think it's a good game. It's got its flaws, sure, but if you're only going to play flawless games, where, right, I want to play this game, I don't want any issues, I don't want any bad story writing, I don't want blah, 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 then you're basically just going to be playing like Astrobot and Portal 2 over and over again. Do you know what I mean? Like, your list of flawless games is going to be short. So if you're only playing like games that you think are flawless, then fine. But you're missing out on games like this where people talk shit about it. But I genuinely think it's a good game. Not an excellent game, but it's a good game and it was fun and like doing all the bits were great. So I'd happily recommend this game to anyone, and I'll take that hit on my record if people don't like it. Do you know what I mean? This gets my stamp of approval, and if people want to take my stamp away for recommending what they think is a bad game, then sue me.
Well, I mean, it got remastered, so there must have been people who thought it was
so. One of the weirdest remasters I've ever seen. The game came out in 2019. It don't look bad.
No, I mean that.
Why would it get remastered?
I mean that's a conversation in itself. But I mean, there was obviously enough people in corporate who thought there's money to be made here in remastering this game. So if it was a global flop, I don't think that would have happened. So.
Yeah, but like I say, I would recommend it. A lot of the stuff that people complained about has been patched out. I didn't see any glitches in my whole run through, not one. So, thanks for listening. This is Callum from Radio Free Oregon. Don't believe the lies.
Bye.